Hey there, aspiring woodworkers and DIY enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're embarking on an exciting journey, building a modern kitchen cabinet from scratch. Forget those flimsy flat pack options, we're talking about crafting a piece that's not only functional but also a beautiful statement in your home. This isn't just about putting wood together, it's about precision, design, and the satisfaction of creating something truly yours. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll guide you through every single step, from initial measurements and careful cuts to the final installation of hinges and handles. Let's dive in and transform some raw materials into a stunning modern cabinet. Why go through the effort of building a cabinet yourself when you can just buy one? Well, the advantages are immense. First, customization. You dictate the exact dimensions, materials, and finish to perfectly match your kitchen's unique layout and aesthetic. No more compromising on standard sizes. Second, quality. Store-bought cabinets often use cheaper materials, but you get to choose durable, high-quality wood and hardware. And third, cost savings. While it requires an initial investment in tools, the material cost for a DIY cabinet can be significantly less than a pre-built, custom-designed unit. Plus, the pride of accomplishment is priceless. Before we grab our tools, let's talk about what defines a modern kitchen cabinet. Modern design often emphasizes clean lines, minimalism, and functionality. We're looking at flat panel doors, integrated or minimalist hardware, and often a frameless construction for a seamless look. Colors typically lean towards neutrals like whites, grays, and blacks, or natural wood tones. The goal is an uncluttered, sleek appearance that maximizes space and efficiency. Understanding these aesthetic principles will guide our material choices, joinery methods, and finishing techniques throughout this project, ensuring your cabinet truly looks contemporary. Here's a quick roadmap of what we'll tackle in this comprehensive guide. We'll begin with crucial planning and design, including precise measurements. Next, we'll dive into material selection and cutting, transforming raw lumber into cabinet components. Then, the assembly phase, where we'll join everything together with strong, reliable connections. After that, we'll move on to the critical steps of sanding and finishing, making your cabinet beautiful and durable. Finally, we'll wrap up with installing the hardware, hinges, handles, and securely mounting your finished cabinet in its new home. Each step is vital for a professional result. Every successful woodworking project starts with meticulous planning, and building a kitchen cabinet is no exception. This phase involves sketching your cabinet, deciding on its dimensions, and considering how it will integrate into your existing kitchen space. Think about what will be stored inside, how much weight it needs to hold, and how frequently it will be accessed. Will it be a base cabinet or a wall-mounted one? A detailed plan helps prevent costly mistakes down the line and ensures you have all the necessary materials and tools before you even make the first cut. Don't rush this step. Accuracy in measurements is absolutely paramount. Even a millimeter off can lead to doors that don't close properly or gaps that compromise the cabinet's aesthetic. You'll need a reliable tape measure, a pencil, and a notepad. First, measure the space where your cabinet will go, width, height, and depth. Account for any obstructions like electrical outlets or plumbing. If it's a wall cabinet, measure from the floor to where the bottom of the cabinet will sit, and from there to the ceiling. Always double-check your readings. Record everything meticulously, these numbers are your blueprint for all subsequent cuts. While standard kitchen cabinets often come in specific sizes, for example, base cabinets are typically 34.5 inches tall without a countertop, building from scratch allows you to break free from these constraints. We'll be designing a custom cabinet tailored to your space. You'll need to decide on the width, depth, and height. Remember to factor in the thickness of the material you choose, as this will affect internal dimensions and the overall cabinet footprint. For a wall cabinet, standard depths are around 12 to 13 inches, but you can adjust this for more storage or a sleeker profile. Every dimension impacts functionality and appearance. When building kitchen cabinets, material selection is critical. Our primary material will be plywood. Plywood is an engineered wood product made by gluing together thin sheets, or plies, of wood veneer. This cross-graining technique gives plywood incredible strength and stability, making it resistant to warping and shrinking. For cabinets, high-grade birch or maple plywood is excellent, offering a smooth surface for finishing and good screw-holding power. Always choose cabinet-grade plywood, which typically has fewer voids and a higher quality face veneer compared to construction-grade plywood. It's an investment that pays off in durability. Another common material for modern cabinet components, especially for doors and drawer fronts, is MDF, or medium-density fiberboard. MDF is made from wood fibers, resin, and wax, pressed into dense, flat panels. Its key advantage is its incredibly smooth, uniform surface, which makes it perfect for painting and achieving a flawless finish without visible grain. Unlike solid wood, MDF won't warp, crack, or expand with humidity changes. However, it's heavier than plywood and doesn't hold screws as well in its edges, so it's often used strategically, particularly for flat panel doors. We'll use plywood for the carcass and potentially MDF for the door. Once you've finalized your dimensions and material choices, it's time to source your wood. Visit a reputable lumberyard or a home improvement store that offers quality cabinet-grade plywood. Inspect each sheet carefully for straightness, flatness, and any major defects like voids or delamination. Remember, you're looking for quality that will last. If you're using MDF for doors, select panels that are perfectly smooth. It's often best to buy a little extra material than you think you'll need, just in case of miscuts or future adjustments. Don't compromise on material quality, as it forms the foundation of your cabinet. Building a cabinet from scratch requires a specific set of tools, and having the right ones makes all the difference in achieving professional results. We'll be using a combination of power tools for precision cuts and hand tools for detailed work and assembly. Don't worry if your workshop isn't fully stocked, many essential tools can be rented or purchased affordably. We'll cover everything from major cutting tools like table saws and circular saws, to smaller items like drills, sanders, and specialized jigs. Each tool plays a crucial role in bringing your cabinet vision to life. Let's make sure you're prepared. Before we power up any machinery, let's talk about safety. This is non-negotiable in any woodworking project. Always wear appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE. This includes safety glasses to protect your eyes from flying debris, hearing protection for noisy tools like saws, and a dust mask to prevent inhaling fine wood dust. Ensure your work area is well lit and clear of clutter. Understand how to use each tool safely before you start, and never rush. A moment of carelessness can lead to serious injury. Your safety is paramount, so always be vigilant and respect your tools. For accurate and repeatable cuts, especially when processing large sheets of plywood into smaller cabinet components, the table saw is a workhorse. It features a circular blade protruding through a slot in a table, allowing you to push material across the blade against a fence for precise rips and crosscuts. The key to safety and accuracy with a table saw is a sharp blade, a properly adjusted fence, and using push sticks to keep your hands away from the blade. Always practice good form and never force the wood. It's an investment, but invaluable for cabinet building. While a table saw is fantastic for large sheets, a circular saw, often paired with a guide track, offers incredible versatility for breaking down full sheets of plywood that might be too unwieldy for a table saw. It's also excellent for precise crosscuts and even bevel cuts. When using a circular saw, ensure your blade is sharp and appropriate for cutting wood. Always clamp your material securely and use a straight edge or guide rail to achieve perfectly straight lines. This setup can be a more affordable and portable alternative for precise sheet goods cutting, especially for beginners or those with limited shop space. Before any blade touches wood, you must accurately measure and mark your components. Use a steel ruler or a reliable tape measure along with a sharp pencil or a marking knife. A marking knife gives a finer, more precise line than a pencil, which is crucial for tight tolerances. Always mark on the good side of your material if there is one. Remember to account for the kerf, the thickness of your saw blade, when making cuts. If you're cutting multiple identical pieces, consider creating a story stick or a template to ensure consistency. This minimizes errors and maximizes material yield. Now that your pieces are marked, it's time to make those precise cuts. Whether you're using a table saw or a circular saw with a guide, focus on a smooth, controlled motion. Let the tool do the work, don't force it. Maintain a consistent feed rate. For the table saw, keep the material firmly against the fence and push through completely. For the circular saw, ensure the saw base is flat on the material and the guide rail is securely clamped. Always cut slightly outside your marked line, then sand or trim to the exact dimension for the best fit. Clean, accurate cuts are the foundation of a strong, square cabinet. For our cabinet construction, we'll employ robust joinery techniques. One excellent method for creating strong, load-bearing connections for shelves and cabinet bottoms is a dado cut. A dado is a flat-bottomed groove cut across the grain of a piece of wood, into which another piece of wood fits perfectly. This creates a strong, interlocking joint that resists racking. You can make dado cuts with a router, a table saw with a dado blade set, or even multiple passes with a standard saw blade. Accuracy here is key. The dado's width must match the thickness of the mating piece for a snug, secure fit. Another incredibly popular and efficient joinery method, especially for cabinets, is the pocket hole. This technique involves drilling a hole at an angle into one piece of wood, then joining it to another piece with a specialized self-tapping screw. The pocket hole jig guides your drill bit, creating a perfectly angled pilot hole and a flat-bottomed pocket for the screw head. Pocket holes are fast, strong, and relatively easy to master, making them ideal for assembling cabinet boxes. They create very sturdy connections that are hidden from view or can be easily plugged for a clean finish. We'll be using them extensively. With all our pieces cut, it's time for assembly. We'll start with the cabinet carcass, which is the main box structure. Begin by attaching the bottom panel to the side panels. If you're using dados, slide the bottom panel into the grooves in the side panels. Then, reinforce these connections with screws, or use pocket holes along the bottom edge of the side panels, screwing into the bottom panel. Ensure everything is flush and square as you go. Use clamps to hold pieces in place while you secure them. This foundational step determines the overall stability and alignment of your entire cabinet. A perfectly square cabinet isn't just aesthetically pleasing, it's absolutely crucial for proper door and drawer operation. If your cabinet is out of square, doors won't hang correctly, and drawers will bind. After assembling the main box, use a large framing square or measure diagonally from corner to corner. The diagonal measurements should be identical. If they're not, gently push or pull the cabinet until they match. Once square, temporarily brace it with a thin piece of plywood or a strap to hold its shape until the back panel is attached. This ensures all your future components will fit perfectly. The back panel serves multiple purposes. It adds significant rigidity to the cabinet, further ensuring it stays square, and it provides a surface for mounting the cabinet to the wall. For modern frameless cabinets, a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch thick plywood or MDF panel is typically sufficient. Cut the back panel to the exact outer dimensions of your assembled carcass. Attach it using screws, making sure to hit the edges of the side, top, and bottom panels. For extra strength and a neater appearance, you can dado the back panel into the sides, or simply attach it directly to the rear of the carcass. Now that the carcass is complete, let's think about the internal organization. Shelves and dividers transform a simple box into a functional storage unit. You can opt for fixed shelves, which are permanently installed using dados or pocket holes for maximum strength. Alternatively, adjustable shelves, using shelf pins, offer flexibility to reconfigure storage as your needs change. For adjustable shelves, simply drill a series of evenly spaced holes on the inside of the cabinet sides using a shelf pin jig. Cut your shelves to size, allowing a slight clearance for easy placement. This is where your cabinet's usability truly comes to life. Before any paint or finish touches your cabinet, sanding is an absolutely crucial step. It removes imperfections, smooths out rough edges, and prepares the surface for optimal paint adhesion. We'll start with a coarser grit sandpaper, like 80 or 100, to remove any major marks or glue squeeze out. Then, progressively move to finer grits, such as 150, then 220, for a silky smooth finish. Always sand with the grain of the wood when possible, and thoroughly clean off dust between grits. Don't rush this process, the quality of your sanding directly impacts the final appearance of your cabinet. Even with careful sanding, you might find small dents, minor gaps at joints, or tiny voids in your plywood. This is where wood filler comes in handy. Choose a high-quality, paintable wood filler that matches your intended finish. Apply a small amount with a putty knife, pressing it firmly into the imperfection. Overfill slightly, then allow it to dry completely according to the manufacturer's instructions. Once dry, sand the filled areas flush with the surrounding surface using your fine grit sandpaper. This step is vital for achieving that perfectly smooth, professional-looking finish characteristic of modern cabinets. Priming is an indispensable step, especially when painting MDF or plywood. Primer serves several critical functions. It seals the wood, preventing the topcoat paint from soaking in unevenly. It provides a uniform base color, ensuring your final paint color looks true, and it significantly improves paint adhesion, leading to a more durable and longer-lasting finish. Choose a high-quality, stain-blocking primer, especially for plywood, which can sometimes have tannins that bleed through paint. Apply an even coat with a roller or sprayer, let it dry, and then lightly sand with 220 grit sandpaper before applying your second coat of primer if needed. Now for the exciting part, painting your cabinet. For a truly modern, smooth finish, a paint sprayer is often the best choice, as it eliminates brush strokes and roller texture. If you're using a brush and roller, choose a high-quality fine finish roller and an angled brush for corners. Apply thin, even coats, allowing each coat to dry completely before applying the next. Lightly sand between coats with very fine grit sandpaper, like 320 or 400, to achieve maximum smoothness. We're aiming for a durable, chip-resistant finish, so choose a high-quality cabinet or trim paint, often an enamel, for best results. Once painted, it's tempting to immediately install your cabinet. However, patience is key here. While paint might feel dry to the touch in a few hours, it takes days, or even weeks, for the paint to fully cure and reach its maximum hardness and durability. Curing involves a chemical process that strengthens the paint film. Premature handling or installation can lead to scratches, dents, or marring of your beautiful new finish. Check your paint manufacturer's recommendations for full cure times, and avoid putting any weight or pressure on your painted surfaces until then. This step is critical for a long-lasting cabinet. For a truly modern, minimalist cabinet, traditional but hinges simply won't do. We're talking about concealed European-style hinges. These hinges are mounted inside the cabinet door and the cabinet frame, so they're completely hidden when the door is closed, providing that sleek, uninterrupted look. They also offer incredible adjustability, allowing you to fine-tune the door's position up, down, left, right, and in or out. This adjustability is a game-changer for achieving perfect door alignment. They typically require a specific size hole, called a cup hole, drilled into the back of the cabinet door for mounting. Installing European hinges requires a bit of precision. First, you'll need a Forstner bit to drill the cup holes into the back of your cabinet doors. Use a drill press or a jig to ensure these holes are perfectly perpendicular and at the correct depth. Once the cup is in, screw the hinge arm onto the door. Next, attach the mounting plate to the inside of your cabinet carcass. The placement of this plate is crucial and depends on the hinge overlay you've chosen. Carefully align the door with the cabinet, then clip the hinge arm onto the mounting plate. Finally, use the adjustment screws to get that perfect gap in alignment. For our modern cabinet, we'll keep the doors simple and sleek, flat panel. This means using a single piece of material, often MDF or high-quality plywood, cut to the exact dimensions of your door openings, accounting for the desired overlay. The overlay is how much the door covers the cabinet opening. For full overlay doors, common in modern designs, the door will almost entirely cover the cabinet front. Use your precise measurements to cut these panels. Sand all edges thoroughly, especially if using MDF, to ensure a smooth finish after painting. Remember, clean edges are vital for a truly professional look. With hinges attached to the doors and mounting plates installed in the cabinet, it's time to hang your doors. This is where the adjustability of European hinges shines. Gently bring the door into position and snap the hinge arms onto the mounting plates. Once attached, stand back and assess the alignment. You'll likely need to make adjustments using the 3 screws on each hinge, one for side to side, one for depth, and one for height. Take your time, making small, incremental turns to achieve even gaps around all sides of the door and ensure it closes smoothly without binding. This meticulous step makes all the difference. While our primary focus is the cabinet carcass, many modern kitchens benefit from drawers. If you're planning a drawer, the drawer box itself is essentially a smaller, simpler box. It typically consists of 4 sides and a bottom. You can join the sides with pocket holes, dovetails, or simple butt joints reinforced with screws. The bottom panel, often a 1/4-inch plywood, fits into a groove routed on the inside of the 4 sides. Cut your pieces precisely, assemble them squarely, and ensure they're robust enough to hold their contents. We won't go into full drawer front details now, but this is the foundation. For drawers, smooth operation is paramount. Modern kitchen cabinets almost exclusively use full extension drawer slides, often with soft close mechanisms. These slides allow the drawer to extend completely out of the cabinet, providing full access to its contents, and the soft close feature prevents slamming. Installing them requires careful measurement to ensure the drawer runs level and smoothly. Attach one part of the slide to the cabinet carcass and the other part to the side of your drawer box. Pay close attention to clearances and align them perfectly. Misalignment can cause the drawer to stick or wobble. Handles and pulls are the final decorative touch and functional interface for your cabinet doors and drawers. For a modern aesthetic, consider sleek bar pulls, minimalist knobs, or even integrated finger pulls for a handle-less look. The choice largely depends on your personal style and the overall design of your kitchen. Functionality is key. Ensure they are comfortable to grip and proportionate to the size of your doors and drawers. Take your time to select hardware that complements your cabinet's finish and your kitchen style, as this small detail can have a huge impact on the final look. Installing handles requires accuracy to ensure they are consistent across all your doors and drawers. The best way to achieve this is by using a hardware jig. This tool allows you to quickly and repeatedly mark the exact drilling locations for your pulls or knobs. First, determine the ideal placement, typically centered vertically on doors, or in the top third of drawers. Clamp the jig to your door or drawer front, then carefully drill pilot holes from the front, all the way through. Finally, attach the handles from the back with screws. This step might seem minor, but precise handle placement makes a world of difference. Before securing your cabinet, proper placement and leveling are crucial. Even a perfectly built cabinet will look off and function poorly if it's not level. Mark the location on your wall where the cabinet will sit, using a level and your original measurements. For base cabinets, ensure the floor is level, if not, you'll need to shim the cabinet. For wall cabinets, mark a level line on the wall for the bottom of the cabinet. Use a stud finder to locate wall studs. These are essential for securely mounting your cabinet, as drywall alone won't hold the weight. This foundation ensures stability. Once positioned and perfectly level, it's time to securely fasten your cabinet to the wall. This is a critical step for safety and stability. Use long screws, typically 2.5 to 3 inches, designed for wood, and drive them through the back of the cabinet and into the wall studs you located earlier. Ensure the screws are countersunk so they don't interfere with the interior of the cabinet. For wall cabinets, it's highly recommended to have a helper for this step to hold the cabinet in place while you fasten it. Proper anchoring prevents wobbling and ensures your cabinet can safely bear its contents. Even after securing the cabinet, you might find that subtle adjustments are needed. Recheck the levelness of the cabinet, and if necessary, adjust shims. For doors and drawers, use the adjustment screws on the European hinges and drawer slides to get those perfect, even gaps. Open and close everything multiple times to ensure smooth operation. Sometimes, a tiny twist of a screw can make a huge difference in how the entire cabinet looks and feels. Take your time to fine-tune every detail. This meticulous attention to detail is what separates a good DIY project from a truly professional result. Congratulations, your modern kitchen cabinet is built and installed. To ensure it remains beautiful and functional for years to come, a little care and maintenance go a long way. Regularly wipe down surfaces with a soft, damp cloth and mild cleaner. Avoid harsh chemicals that can damage the finish. Check hinges and drawer slides periodically to ensure they're tight and functioning smoothly, tightening any loose screws. Be mindful of excessive moisture, especially around sinks. With proper care, your meticulously crafted cabinet will not only serve its purpose but also continue to be a source of pride in your kitchen. And there you have it. From raw plywood and MDF to a fully functional, sleek, modern kitchen cabinet, built entirely by your own hands. We've covered the entire process: meticulous planning, precise cutting, robust assembly, flawless finishing, and professional installation. This project demonstrates that with patience, the right tools, and a step-by-step approach, you can achieve professional-grade results in your own workshop. Now you have a beautiful, custom-built cabinet that will elevate your kitchen. What other custom cabinets or woodworking projects are you dreaming of? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more DIY adventures.